Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. So today we will be learning about sorting, okay, like inside Java. So this is basically the tutorial will be related to Java, and we will be learning about sorting, like how many kinds of sortings are there, and we will be dealing with specific two today, okay. So there are various kind of sorting techniques which you can use inside Java, like linear search, okay, and then we have binary search, then we have something as bubble sort, okay, we also have insertion sort, okay, that is insertion sorting. Okay, so these are some, okay, uh, sorting techniques which you can use in Java in order to sort your array basically. Okay, suppose you have some elements inside your array, okay, and you want to sort it. Okay, so for that purpose inside Java we use these kind of sorting techniques. Okay, so I'll be focusing on two techniques first of all today, that is linear search and binary search. Fine. So first of all, let's understand how a sorting is being done. Suppose I'm talking about linear search, okay, first. So suppose this is my array. Fine. This is the array. It has some elements inside it. Okay. And these are the index number. Okay. Now, when you are performing the linear search on this particular array, what happens at that point of time? In linear search, it is actually searching for a particular key inside your whole array. Okay, that means you have to define a key. Let's say my key value is 50. Fine. So in my code I have defined my key value is 50. Now inside the whole array you have to search for this particular key that is 50. Suppose this array has elements as 10, 20, 40, okay, and 45, 50, and then 60. Okay, these are some array elements or values you can call. Fine. So in linear search, what happens? You have to search for a particular key inside your whole array. So in real time example, when you want to search for a particular array element in a large data set, then at that point of time you can use the linear search. Okay. So linear search means a particular data you want from a set of data. You know the data, right? Suppose let's say I only want the number 50 from it, so I know the data, so my key is 50 and 50 I want to find it out in this particular array. So at that point of time linear search is being used. So what happens in linear search, when you get the 50 matched in this array, you have to return the index number. Okay, so that means you have to run a loop which will start from the index number 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. When it reaches to and simultaneously you have to also check off for the elements. Okay, like if it matches with this particular key or not. When it matches, you have to extract the index of it. That's how a linear search works. Okay, now let's see what is the actual coding for a linear search, which would be same if you are doing any kind of performing any kind of linear search. This code would be similar. You can use the same code everywhere. Okay, when you are performing a linear search, just need to change the data according to your data. Okay, so first of all we'll start off with public class sort. Okay, as I have already taken the class name as sort. Fine. And then inside this, first of all I'll initialize my array and my key. Okay, so I'll take public static void main string, let's see this, and then inside it I'll just first of all initialize my array. So let's say my array name is a1. Okay, so I write this. You can also write this, okay, instead of this. You can also write this one. Fine. Like this you can also write, or like this you can also write. Both the ways will work. Okay. So here I write int and then a1 is my array name, and then I write the array elements which is there. So for writing the array elements you have to open up the brackets, and inside this you have to mention your array elements. So let's say my array elements are 10, 20, 30, 50, 70, and let's say 90. Okay, these are my array elements. Fine. Now I have to initialize a key as well, the key which I have to search out in my array element using the linear search. So let's say the key is 50. Okay, these two I have initialized. So in this particular, inside the public static void main, I'll mention over here itself like system dot out dot print ln, and then I'll mention whatever I want to, irrespective of the key which I want to display. That means the index number which you want to display. So I'll keep this as empty right now, and then I'll go on to the writing part of the linear search code. Okay, so for that what you have to do, for writing the linear search code, you have to write public static int, okay, and let's say linear search. Okay, and inside this I take my arrays, that is, suppose I take and also the string or the key. Okay, and I close this, and now I get inside this. Okay, so now this is my linear search for which I have just written public static int linear search. Okay, so now I'll be performing the for loop which will run for the array. Okay, so what I'll write for I is equal to 0, I is less than array length. Okay, like you have to run the for loop till the length of the array. Fine, and then I plus plus. Okay, fine, this is my for loop. Now I run the loop, and next what else, simultaneously what I need to run, I also need to check if my key element is matching or not. So for that I'll just write if arr of I is equal to key. Okay, and then inside this, if it is matching, what you have to do, you have to return the index number, that means I. Okay, index number, here I is holding the index number. Okay, if it doesn't matches, then what do you have to do, you have to return -1, because in linear search, if the key is not found, then -1 is returned. Okay, fine, my linear search code is done. So here this particular for loop is running the array, that means it runs from 0. Okay, that means this is the 0th position. Fine, it will check arr of I is equal to 0. Now you might have a question, the array over here is a1 and I have it over here as arr. So here in linear search, what happens when you pass on the parameters, that is arr and key I have passed on, so it will take this and this itself over here. Okay, so it will take this array itself over here. Fine. So here I write arr of I, that means arr of 0, that means it is 10. Now is 10 equal to 50? No, it is not. Then what will happen? It will return -1. Okay, I plus plus. Again it goes on to I now becomes 1. Still it's not same. So it keeps on moving until it reaches to 50. Then this particular if condition will satisfy. Okay, that means arr I is equal to 50. So that means 0, 1, 2, 3. That means the index number is 3. So here return I, that means 3 will be my output. Okay, because linear search means you have to return the index where the element is matched from your array or the key is matched from your array. Now I'll move on to this system.out.println, and over here I'll write key. Suppose I write is found at index, okay, and then I'll use this, that is linear search. Fine. So linear search, okay, and then my elements in which my array and key is stored, that is a1 and key. Fine. This is done. Give a semicolon. That's it. Okay. Now check for the braces. Everything looks okay. One more needs to be done. Fine. Complete. Now what will happen? This particular is for linear search and this particular is for uh, initializing your array and your key element. Okay, there are two in a single class. Fine. And over here it runs a for loop and then checks for the, inside the for loop it checks for the key. If the key matches, then it will give you the index number, otherwise it will return -1. Okay, now what we have to do, let's compile it and let's check if there are any errors. Okay, there is an extra bracket. Let me close this. Okay, get it done. Fine. Any else? Int. Okay, one more to go. Okay, now it is done. Fine. The only changes were the return spelling was fixed up, and then this return will be here like outside the loop, so that whenever your key is not found, then only it will return -1. Fine. So compile, no syntax error. Now let me minimize this off and let me try to run it. So here this is the class sort. I'll just click on it. Okay, so 50, that means 50 is my key, is found at index 3. If you see, at index 3 it was we were supposed to found 50, so we got at index 3. So if I open the code again, so here 0 1 2 3, that means 3 is the index number, so here we found it at 3. Okay, if you want to give some spaces between 50 and 3, then what you can do, you can put it over here like some spaces. Okay, and then try to maybe run it again. So here okay, so that is how you can use your linear search in order to find a key element in your array. You have a key element, you want to find it in your whole array, you can use the linear search and you can get it out from there. That's how a linear search works. Now coming on to the binary search. So binary search, I would say it is quite easier in comparison to the linear search, because linear search takes time. Okay, it runs the for loop, it keeps on checking with each and every element. When it founds the match, then only it will give you the index number. But that's not the case with the binary search. Okay, and in binary search the coding is also less. It depends how you are doing it. Okay, how smartly you are doing it. Okay, so let's see that. Fine, so let me remove everything. Okay, let's keep this off and I'll just remove this. So here I'm just using class sort. Okay, and then these all things remain same because I just want to find out the key, because both But if I talk about the linear search, so in linear search, what happens? The array should be a sorted one. Sorted one means it should be from ascending to descending order. Okay, a sorted array. Fine. Like in case of binary search, I'm sorry. So in case of linear search, it you can perform linear search on both sorted as well as unsorted arrays. That means it doesn't matter whether your array elements are from ascending to descending order or descending to ascending order. Doesn't matter. But in case of binary search, you have to use a sorted array. That means it should be from ascending to descending order. Okay, if it is not, you have to first sort it and then you can perform your binary search. Okay, that's the one main difference. Now other main difference would be like if you want to use the linear search, I would suggest if use the linear search when you have a smaller amount of data. Okay, because in smaller amount of data it will work efficiently, but if you have a larger amount of data, then I would not recommend linear search. At that point of time, binary search will act very efficiently, because what binary search does, binary search, suppose this is our array, okay, suppose this is the array. So what it does, it actually checks the whole array at a time. Okay, and it takes the middle element and leaves out the rest of the elements. Suppose these like 1 2 3 4 5 6 I have, so it will divide the element by 2. That means suppose this one and this one divided by 2, the first and last element divided by 2, and it will only check the middle elements. It will leave all the elements, okay, and check the middle element first. If your key is found in that particular element, it will give you the answer. After checking the middle element, then it goes for, the last element and the first element. That's how a binary search works. So it makes much more efficient when you're taking a larger amount of data in order to perform a search, or you're finding something in your search, in your array, like an element in your array, which is a bigger array. At that point of time, you can use binary search. Fine. Now coming on to the binary search coding part, like what would be the coding for binary search when you're trying to perform a binary search. Okay, so I would show you over here a very simple, binary search coding is very long, but you can make it much more simpler how you think of it. Okay, so I'll make it a simple one. I am just removing these. I don't need these. Okay, you must be thinking why. Now I'll show you why. Okay, now over here what I'll be doing is I'll just take another variable. Let's say result is my another variable, and inside this I'll be just using a method which is arrays dot binary search, and then inside that I'll be mentioning my element, that is a1 and key. Fine. So arrays dot binary search is a method which will perform your task, that is binary search, directly into these two elements, that is a1 and key. So a1 is your array and key is 50. Fine. Okay, now if you want to use a method which belongs to array, so before the class what you have to do, you have to import it. Okay, so I'll just write import from Java. Okay, so import Java, so it will come under util and then arrays. Fine. So whenever you're trying to import a method which belongs to Java arrays, at that point of time you have to write import java.util just above the class dot arrays. That means you're trying to import a method which is binary search for performing the binary search. Okay. Fine. So now here in this case you must be wondering, okay, let me remove all this. So here in this case you must be wondering, like I am performing the binary search over here, but what if when the key is not found it should return -1, right? So in that case what I'll be doing over here is I'll just put a if condition. So if result is less than 0, at that point of time I'll just print system.out.println and I'll say no match found. Okay, here no match found. Fine. But else part, I'll write if the result is greater than 0, that means I have found the number, the key inside my array, and I want to print the index. So in the else part, I'll be writing system.out.println, and here result is holding my binary search. Okay, so I'll just write result. Or you can also write, just in order to make it more appropriate, you can write like index or key matched at index, then a plus, and then a result. Fine. And now compile it, no syntax error. So this is binary search, very simple. I have made it. Okay, you don't have to use longer checking the whole array elements, then finding out the middle element, then run a loop, then run a if condition. No, make it simpler one. It's only with the binary search. There, if you ask me like, is there any method which is used for linear search? No, it's not used in Java for linear search. It is only used for binary search, wherein you can take your array, you can take your key which you want to search it in your array, and then your another variable, just call the method which is binary search and pass on your parameter, that is your array and the key, and then just check out for the if condition, which says if the result is less than 0, that means no match found. That means less than 0 means you are getting -1, right? That means the key is not matching from the array. But if it is greater than 0, that means yes, it is matching. So that's the moment when I want to print my result. That means that's the moment when I want to print my index. Okay, so let me just run this. So this is the one. Okay, now if you see the output says key matched at index 3. Okay, so that's what we wanted. Fine, so that is the difference between a binary search and a linear search. Binary search quite simple when it works with a larger amount of data set. If you want to work with small amount of data set, use linear search. Don't use binary search at that point of time. And the most important, if you have a sorted array, then only use a binary search. If you don't have it, first of all sort it, then use it. Okay,